So I was viewing, Twitter, aka X, twitter.com, otherwise known as X.com, and then later on Facebook to kind of see if what I saw was pretty much fact. And lo and behold, it was. I mean, believe it or not, there was, some people, I won't say some, but, quite a few fans that were very vocal about Hasbro's thumbnail for, their My Little Pony official YouTube page, and how they were using that thumbnail to celebrate Valentine's Day, or as it's known in the MLP lore, Hearts and Hooves Day. They weren't basically very thrilled with the thumbnail. And the reason they weren't very thrilled with it was due to the fact that it was a screenshot from the ending of Season 2's episode Secret of My Excess, where Spike and Rarity are basically falling through the sky. And Spike's admitting his crush on her, and she's accepting it. She's basically telling him, in her own way, very silently, that she already knows. He, kind of acknowledges, that she's, very much aware of the crush and all that. But what's even more crazy, if you will, is that when you look at the thumbnail, they added little hearts around them, to kind of emphasize that this is being released, this compilation of episodes, which is about together 68 minutes, is, basically being released in time to celebrate, like I said, Valentine's Day, or Hearts and Hooves Day, as it's known in the MLP. And a lot of fans got into a titter, if you will. They kind of got into a spat, if you will. Not a very disturbing spat, but basically a debatable spat. Because a lot of fans were, looking at this and they're like, they were like, no, Hasbro, you can't promote this. You can't talk about this because, it's wrong. Spike's a kid. He's a baby dragon and such. And you have other fans counter-arguing them and saying, well, that's not necessarily true, because when you think about it, Spike's only a few years younger than, Twilight, because Twilight hatched him when she was a filly, and Twilight's not that much younger than Rarity, and, pretty much Spike, he's a dragon. He's a lot more mature, for what he looks like, and, dragons age slower, and he's technically, about the same age, if not a bit younger than Twilight and Rarity. So there's nothing really wrong with it. And, again, you just have fans going back and forth, like, some not agreeing with this and some agreeing with it, and some being like, look, it's fantasy. It's, you can do what you want with this. You don't need to take it seriously. It's fantasy. It's for fun. And, mainly, in my opinion, what Hasbro's doing is they're acknowledging the fans. They're acknowledging the fans that support this ship. They're acknowledging the fact that this ship, between Spike and Rarity, Sparity, if you will, that's the name the ship is known for, or known as. They're basically acknowledging that, this is one of the reasons fans got into the show, because they saw something like this. And in my honest opinion, I think when this episode came out, Lauren Faust did this for a reason, because she knew we were getting Canterlot Wedding later that season, right? So her releasing Secret of My Excess before that, I think it was before that, was to set the tone of the fact that she recognized, being a fan growing up herself, she recognized the fact that, one thing that was always associated with, girl franchises and everything, or franchises targeted at girls, was there was romance. There was always going to be romance, at play. And that's what we got, and that's what we got here, in MLP, mostly in the second season. We got a little bit of romance, the acknowledgement of the crush between Spike and Rarity, and kind of setting the tone for the fact that we were going to get more of that, in the seasons to come, in episodes to come. And lo and behold, we got it in probably what is considered one of the best season finales MLP has done, and probably one of the best mini movies, mini series finales to ever help put a show like MLP Friendship is Magic on the map, and that's Canterlot Wedding. Now, throughout the rest of the show's run, of course, Spike and Rarity's relationship would be, on and off. There is no doubt about that. And what I mean by on and off is that, season 2 would still see it be focused on, and then of course season 3 kind of had a little bit of it, but it cooled off, and then between season 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7, it was kind of up and down. Like you would have your moments sporadically, you know, but not as much as, like, let's say the first 2.5 seasons. But and that's when Megan McCarthy took over as, you know, head writer, you know, of the series. And Megan pretty much made it clear that she wasn't, you know, technically a fan or fond of Spike and Rarity at all, you know, but she was willing to acknowledge it. Like, she realized that, yeah, you know, this helped, you know, this is one of the things that helped attract fans to the show. And then in comes Nicole Dubuque around season 8, and then, you know, the rest is history, because then Nicole Dubuque decides, hey, me and my team are going to one of the things we're going to do is refocus on the Sparity ship and, you know, build on it. And I think it's because she found it adorable, she found it cute, and whew, off to the races we went. You know, off to the races we went in season 8, in the Best Gift Ever Christmas, you know, special, and in season 9, you know, off to the races we went. I mean, Best Gift Ever is a great example, and I've talked about it before, of this ship being focused on, because one of the subplots, you know, in the story was Spike finding a gift for Rarity. And what does he do? He gets her a gift, the gift of song, by singing her his interpretation of the True Gift of Giving song, but done in a very romantic tone. And Rarity's reaction with the sparkles in her eyes, and I think even AJ kind of acknowledging that, yeah, you know, she sees what this is leading towards and everything. It's like, come on, seriously, you know, it's like, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? And then you take a look at season 9, you get drag and drop, despite how you feel about that episode, and, you know, and so on. You know, there was just too many, you know, moments and hints in the final 2 seasons, Best Gift Ever, and even before that, to not come out and say that, yeah, there was something being teased and built between these two. And then you take a look at the comics too. You take a look at the comics. You take a look at one of the holiday issue, or one of the holiday annuals, if you will, and Spike escorting Rarity, you know, on her little, I guess you could say, journey across Equestria to all these events, to all these balls, and, you know, I guess you could say gatherings and stuff. And then if that's not enough to kind of prove that, you know, this ship is one of the more popular ones, and even Hasbro acknowledges it, how about the Nightmare Rarity arc and its conclusion? Spike was the last one to actually help Rarity free herself from the corruption of the Nightmare magic. You know, and if that's not enough, in my opinion, to kind of seal the deal in both areas, in both interpretations of the show and the characters, I don't know what is. You know, I don't know what is to, you know, to seal the deal that, hey, there is something, you know, being, you know, basically alluded to romantically between these two. And again, you know, you hear people, even now, like I said earlier, you know, that look at, you know, that thumbnail for Valentine's Day that Hasbro put on the, you know, MLP official YouTube page. And it's like, do these people not get it, that if Hasbro is acknowledging it, then they know that, hey, this is something that fans are for, and that fans recognize the romance between them, the ship between them. You know, if Hasbro is willing to recognize it because they know the fans recognize it and are behind it, then why can't others? And again, I think it goes back to the fact that some people still felt that Spike was a baby. He was a young dragon. But the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, it is a show of fantasy. It's a show of, you know, fiction. And you can do whatever you want with fantasy. You can do whatever you want with fiction. You know, and if you want to interpretate, you know, and I'm sure the writers did this as well when they worked on the show. If you want to interpretate Spike being a little younger in age than Twilight and Rarity, thus making it acceptable for him to be with Rarity, or at least try something with Rarity, then that shouldn't be an issue. You know, that shouldn't be an issue at all. But, you know, there are fans still that feel like it's not a good idea, because one of the reasons fans used to talk about, I don't know if they talk about it still, is they always felt like Rarity was manipulating him. But, you know, that wasn't always the case. That wasn't always the case. And if it was, drag and drop pretty much sealed the deal for her to realize that she actually cared about Spike more so than just as a friend or just as a helper. Like, she wants to be with him. I mean, come on, the ending with him holding out his hand for her hoof and everything and saying that he still wants his Rarity time. And her reaction, even when he mentioned his time with Gabby, you know, she still had that look, that smile on her face, like, yeah, you know, like, yeah, I'm happy for you, but, you know, I'm still a little jealous, you know, you were with somebody else. I mean, Desbio said it best in his collab review with Voice of Reason, you know, that in that episode, Rarity took it along the lines of being akin to, you know, Spike cheating on her and everything. And even Desbio joked about the fact that, hey, you got 2 girls that want personal time with him. Go for it, you know. If Desbio and even Voice of Reason at one time have acknowledged that something is going on between the 2 characters more so than anything, you know, to me, I think, you know, them being very notable Brony fans and, you know, reviewers and stuff, and, you know, they go to conventions when they can, I take their word for it. I really do. And as far as like Lauren Fowles playing it off like, oh, it's nothing serious and everything, she's just trolling the fans. She knows the fans support it. She knows the fans are behind it. She's just trolling them. So to me, at the end of the day, I look at the Sparity ship as being something that, whether you liked it or you're not, is here to stay. And you know, and it's something that Hasbro is finally acknowledging and pretty much confirming as being real and official. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below, live chat during the premiere, and I'll talk to you later.